Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Hypnotic Sunday service. I hope everybody's been having a good weekend so far. And we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. So, welcome, everybody. I'm Evan Baumgartner, board certified hypnotist at Elliott Bay Hypnosis here in Seattle, Washington. And today, I want to talk a little bit about perfectionism and procrastination. So recently, I've talked to people who are like, "Oh, well, I'm both a perfectionist and a procrastinator," and it's kind of like, "Oh, that's it," because on one hand, they want to do everything right and get it done, but then they just don't want to do it. And as a hypnotist, I work with a lot of people who will come because they do struggle with perfectionism or because they are um, procrastinators. And I want to invite you to think about it in a different way, that these two things aren't really all that different when we really think about it. So, if we look at perfectionism, that is kind of a way of us protecting ourselves from criticism, from the possibility of failing. It's very much in want, where I have to get this right. I want to get this perfect. This has to be done right. It gives us a sense of control in that respect. If it's done right, then nobody can criticize me. But it's kind of an impossible standard. Everybody knows it, on some level. Like, we know that it's more important to just do the thing and get it done competently as best we can than it is to have every detail perfect. There's no I can't remember where the quote comes from, but I believe it was a general saying, like, the best battle plans never survive first contact with the enemy. And that's kind of how perfectionism is. No matter how much we plan, how perfect we try to get it, there's always going to be something. And nothing that we do will ever be perfect enough. You know, instead of taking action on a project, on actually taking those steps towards a goal that we want to accomplish, we are going to delay it, to keep putting it off, to finding reasons, that things that we have to do first in order to get it just right, in order for it to be perfect. And that comes out of a want to avoid the emotional strain that we're putting on ourselves for, facing criticism, facing the possibility of failure, whatever that might be. Yeah, I've talked about before. I don't really believe in failure until we stop, um, and just give up. And even then, it's debatable if that was really a failure or not. But that's a different Sunday. We'll talk about that. And I mean, procrastination works much the same way. We can think of it as being lazy, as poor time management, but it's really not. Like, if we think about it, like, okay, we know that we need to do this, but it'll work very similar to perfectionism, where it's like, All right, I'm just going to do this one thing that I enjoy doing first before I do the unpleasant thing I don't want to do. Before I do these other things, I don't really feel like doing that. I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to put it off, put it off, put it off. And it's a very sophisticated strategy that the subconscious is using to help us avoid the tension, the discomfort associated with the thing that we're procrastinating doing. And that could be something where the outcome feels uncertain, or maybe we just feel overwhelmed with whatever that task is. And that very, very similar to perfectionism the same way. In both cases, our subconscious mind, is working to protect us from discomfort. It wants to move us towards pleasure. It wants us to move us towards something that will enjoy more. Yeah, and by avoiding doing the thing that has a lot of emotional weight attached to it. And, you know, perfectionists will procrastinate. And the reason they do is they fear starting something that they can't finish perfectly. And so they'll avoid it until the last possible minute, till there's no possible way to continue avoiding it, if at all. I know I'm like that with a lot, with a lot of things. I don't want to start something that I'm not going to be able to see through all the way to the end. I think about creative writing, and that I used to love doing, and I don't do that anymore. Um, I'll still think of stories. I still develop characters and things in my head. As like a It'll help me go to sleep sometimes. I enjoy thinking about that, but I don't enjoy the act of writing. Well, why not? Well, because what am I going to do with it? And I'm not going to see it through to a finished product. I'm not going to invest the resources I have, time, energy, or money, into creating something like that that's complete the way I picture it in my head. It it's more fun for me to just keep developing it, keep getting more detailed that way than it would be to actually make the thing. So I don't, but there is that like tension that comes up with that. There is a certain frustration, like, oh, write a screenplay. It's like, well, why? It won't get made. I will never see the finished version of that the way it is in my head. I mean, you could go out and do that, but is it going to be the way that you want, that perfect way? No. Even if you were given money from a studio to do it, even then, it's still likely not to be perfect. So, but that's something that we'll avoid doing. And creatively, that'll come out until it's burning in us so much that we're just like, I'm doing this. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write it out. I'm gonna draw it. I'm gonna paint it. Whatever, because you just can't keep it in anymore. But there is that sort of procrastination aspect to it, going up into it. But we'll see it when it comes to like housework. Don't enjoy that. You're gonna find a way to keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off, or I see this with people that want to create content that, oh, well, I don't have good enough gear. It's like, well, you have a phone. I mean, you do. Is it going to be perfect? No. I look at what I'm doing, how far I've come since I started doing this to now. And I mean, I'm looking at the monitor. Today's setup is far from perfect. Far from perfect. And that's okay because I'm showing up and I'm doing it. And I'm doing what with what I've got. There was a technical issue before. I wasn't sure that I was actually going to be able to do this, at least in this format that I like doing today. But I got everything going. It's still my framing isn't perfect. I'm not set up perfectly the way I like it to be. And that's okay. I mean, I forgot to turn my lighting on even. But I'm still here and I'm still doing it. And as long as the microphone is picking me up, that's good. That's good because it is so much about the showing up, the doing it in the face of whatever tension that we have, whether that's um, not feeling like you have the energy for it. And that's where I was last week. I was tired and I still showed up and I did it. And was it my best stream? I absolutely no. But I loved doing it. I loved showing up and doing it anyway. Even though I knew at the time it wasn't going to be my best. And looking back, I'm like, yeah, that was not my best, but we all have off days. This one is not going to be one of my best either. And that's okay because there's still valuable information here. And I'm still showing up and I'm doing it. And I'm leaning in to that. And I enjoy it despite my framing being off, despite not having the lighting set up like I normally do. All of that. It's okay because a lot of times when you're dealing with perfectionism, all you have to do really is show up and you work with what you've got. Play with the cards that you have in front of you instead of wondering, wishing, wanting everything, because that wanting just keeps us stuck. And that's very much the same with procrastination. Um, in both cases, though, our subconscious mind is seeing, hey, this is creating a lot of tension. There's discomfort. I'm going to try to move you away from it because all of our habits, are all of our best and worst impulses have a purpose. They are meant to protect us in some way. There's a perceived benefit to everything that we do, even if what we're doing harms us in some way long term. Our subconscious is running a program and it's saying that there is a perceived benefit here. And with procrastination, it's to avoid doing something unpleasant, something that we find unpleasant, something that we don't want to do, especially, and this is where perfectionism comes in, especially if it's important to us. And this is why I always say we can't want and have at the same time, and how wanting something really, really badly ends up pushing that thing further away because we're stuck in want. And that's because it's so important to us. We want it so much. It means something. So you don't want to mess it up. There's a heavy emotional charge there. And if we look at the scale of emotions, that emotional charge, one, boom, it's in lust, want, boom, it's in fear. Those are down there. It's not up in courage, acceptance, love, and peace, which is where you want to be. It's not even up in pride. It's down. It is in fear, in wanting. And because as we move down the scale, things get heavier, it doesn't feel as good, our subconscious is going to start pulling us in the other direction. So that's that tug of war that you might feel when you're facing doing something that you really don't want to do, or something that you feel like you really, really just have to get perfectly right. And that's where it will start telling us things, putting it in front of it, like these thoughts. They'll come by. Well, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if this isn't good enough? What happens then? And that's not you. That's that's your subconscious putting these thoughts in your head that will nudge you further away from the thing because it thinks it's protecting you. And it is to a degree, but because we don't want too much tension will create burnout. Create that, but we need to be comfortable with leaning into it, with moving in that direction, not being overwhelmed, but being able to build on it and build on it and build on it so we can handle more and more and more. And with perfectionism, doing the thing. So we then become consistent at doing the thing and build that discipline around it. And then it comes up, and then we get better and better and better and better the more that we do it. Practice makes perfect. The more we do something, the better at it we get, the more we advance. You don't get to skip to the end. We all have to go through the motions of doing everything. It's that knowing it intellectually and knowing it in the body, having that connection, that muscle memory kind of thing. And we can use hypnosis to address this at the subconscious level, talking to the subconscious mind, reframing how it's perceiving this tension, how it's looking at that discomfort instead of something that we want to avoid. How can we learn to embrace it? How can we make it something that we start to enjoy doing until it becomes a habit? And if we tell ourselves over and over again that, oh, well, I'm a perfectionist, I won't start on this until it's absolutely perfect, that's a suggestion that you're giving yourself, and that's why you find yourself having a hard time to start saying, well, I procrastinate, I'm a procrastinator. And then a lot of times with procrastination, I do my best work under pressure anyway. No, you're just waiting until you're under pressure to do the work. The work would be the same no matter when. I mean, I do believe it is good to have boundaries. I think that does make us better, and not just like time frame deadline kind of boundaries, but personal boundaries, which a lot of people need to work on. A lot of hypnosis can also help with that. But having constraints on things, it's not a bad thing. And it doesn't limit your freedom. It just gives you a canvas to work inside of. To this is the workspace, and maybe you just like a smaller time frame kind of workspace to have that. Maybe it feels too big, but again, we can reframe how you look at that, because you know what we need to understand is the and again, hypnosis will help you understand this on that deeper level, on the subconscious level, is that perfection isn't the actual goal. It's progress. Progress is the goal. And that's the same for procrastination. It's all about learning to be comfortable with the discomfort of imperfection, with doing the necessary things that we don't enjoy, but don't really take too much away, that once we do them creates a significant improvement in our day-to-day life, whether that's housework that you procrastinate at or whatever else. It's about learning to be comfortable with being messy, really, and in the way we go about doing things. Um, and procrastination, like I say, in housework, maybe not messy in that way, but just doing it, taking the action, even if it's not perfect, uh, being comfortable with the discomfort that comes with imperfection, embracing the process, embracing the journey. Because at that point, whether it's procrastination or perfectionism, you're not avoiding anymore. Instead, you are managing your emotions in a healthy way by accepting them, letting them go through you, and then letting them go. So that is the thing I really want you to understand about perfectionism. And you know what? We got a bit of time and it's not going to be perfect, but I would like to take you through a short little hypnosis session to help let go of some of those blocks that are getting in the way. So if you're driving, turn this off. Uh, don't listen to this while driving. Anytime you need to have your attention on something, um, find a place, get nice and comfortable, have nothing crossed on your body, arms, feet uncrossed. You can do this sitting or lying down, perfectly fine. And if you're sitting down, you have your arms on the side of the chair. I want you to just take a deep breath in and just look up as you hold that. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your mouth. And then just let those eyes go closed as you begin to drift down deeper and deeper. Now, I want you to just imagine what it would feel like now to just start to feel that hypnosis, your hypnosis, coming all the way up, all the way through. Maybe feeling a tingle somewhere in your body, maybe small at first, as it just begins to increase more and more as it spreads through every muscle and fiber in your body. And just imagine what that would feel like now. And just imagine what it would feel like to feel that hypnosis, your hypnosis, start to move all the way up through your body. Maybe you can feel it moving from your chest, moving up your body into your shoulders, moving up your neck, relaxing every muscle and fiber in your body as it continues to move, going all the way up to the top of your head. Even the top of your head is relaxing as that hypnosis, your hypnosis comes all the way down, relaxing your forehead. And just feel that hypnosis. Just imagine, only imagine now what it would feel like now for that hypnosis to hit the top of your eyelids right about now. And just make those eyes get so heavy, so relaxed as all the muscles in and around those eyes are relaxing, taking you deeper and deeper down, that they become so heavy and so relaxed those eyes just won't work, that they just won't open. Just imagine what that feels like now. For your eyes to become so heavy, so relaxed as your hypnosis begins to increase and increase and increase and takes you deeper and deeper down. That those eyes just won't open. And the more you try to open those eyes, the more you're going to find that they're locked down, glued down, stuck down tight, locked down, glued down, stuck down tight. Go ahead and try and open those eyes when you know that they're so heavy and they're so relaxed that they just won't open, and just find that they're locked down, glued down, stuck down tight, locked down, glued down, stuck down tight. And you can just relax and stop trying and just breathe out. Just send that wave of hypnosis, that wave of relaxation all the way through your body, from the top of your head down to your feet, as you go deeper and deeper down, deeper and deeper into that wonderful, powerful, hypnotic sleep. And you might know that in hypnosis, you're not really asleep. Your mind is awake, but your body is asleep. And as your body relaxes and sleeps, your mind stays awake and alert and listens to my voice. It focuses on my voice. And no matter how deep you go into hypnosis, my voice will go with you. No matter how deep into that hypnotic sleep you go, your mind will remain active and alert, hearing every word I say. Your subconscious mind will listen and focus on me, and your conscious mind can drift as your body relaxes and sleeps, because sleep comes with light footsteps. And soon, those footsteps become heavy and more heavy as you just allow yourself to have the experience of drifting deeper into your hypnosis now, of feeling your hypnosis, your powerful hypnosis increasing, 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 increasing. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times, 60 times, 70 times, 80 times, 90 times, 100 times more and more powerful now. What I'd like you to do now is I want you to just drift deeper, because the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. And the deeper you go, the more you relax. And the more you relax, the better you feel. That's the golden rule of hypnosis. And as you drift deeper, I want you to just go to a mystical place, a magical place, a special place, a powerful place, that powerful, powerful mind of yours that you know you can go to, where you can make all the perfect positive changes that you're here to make today. Just go to that mystical place, that magical place, that special place, that place of empowerment that you know you can go to, in that powerful, powerful mind of yours, where you can make all of these powerful, powerful changes now. When you're there, I'd like you to just go ahead and welcome any feelings, thoughts, emotions, sensations, images about a task that you've been procrastinating on doing. Something that maybe you want to get so perfect that you haven't found yourself starting on a task yet, because it's so important that you want to get it right. Whether it's perfectionism or procrastination that you're focusing on today, I want you to just welcome that in. Welcome whatever that is in. And just notice that. And sit with that wherever it is in your body. Just notice what it feels like. That tension, that discomfort, any negative images, thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations that you have attached to the task that you've been putting off doing. Just welcome any of those heavy feelings in and just notice them and welcome them. And notice what that feels like. And welcome any want, any sense of, I have to do this, I have to get this right. Just welcome that in. Notice how that feels. Notice how that want creates a psychic distance between you and your goals. And welcome that and sit with that. Welcome any resistance you have to starting or completing the task that you've been putting off. Any of those negative images, feelings, thoughts, emotions, sensations attached to that. And I want you to just let any of those negative images, feelings, thoughts, emotions, sensations just come in, all that crap that you've been holding on to just welcome that. And I want you to just imagine that a big light is forming above your head. And this light, this powerful energy shining down on you is just pulling out, dragging out, sucking out all of that negativity, all of those stories that you tell yourself about why you procrastinate, why you need things to be perfect. And just let that go. Just imagine that there's like a big valve opening up at the top of your head, and this big, powerful, healing white light, this big, powerful energy is just pulling out, dragging out, sucking out any negative images, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and sensations that have been keeping you stuck, that have been keeping you from accomplishing these tasks now. Just imagine that. Feel that. Any of that tension, that pressure, that guilt, that shame, that wanting. Just imagine what it feels like now for all that to just get pulled out, dragged out, sucked out now. All the way up through your body, wherever that heaviness is, to just feel it. Going all the way up, all the way through as that big, powerful light just pulls out, drags out, sucks out. All that shit that's been holding you back now. Just let it all go. As you let it go, just notice as all that shit, all that negative images, feelings, thoughts, emotions, sensations just get pulled out, dragged out, sucked out, how much lighter you feel. As one by one, piece by piece, they just go all the way out, hitting the top of your head, and they just pop out one by one, piece by piece now. Just let it go. And as those all get dragged out, sucked out, pulled out, notice is that how much lighter you feel. Maybe your body is shifting, your posture is changing. Find yourself sitting up straight, your back is straightening. As that big, powerful light that's pulling out all that negativity is also recharging you, filling you with confidence, with peace, with love, with joy, all the things that you need to just go forward and be courageous and do those things that you've been putting off. Knowing that it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. And that you can do it, and that you can handle it. And that feeling of satisfaction at completing a task, even an unpleasant one, how much better that feels to just have it done and out of the way. And just imagine that. And just feel that as that light fills that void. As you feel that courage and that confidence, all of that you've been missing, that's been keeping you from accomplishing these tasks. Filling up every space where those negative images, thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations used to be. Now being filled with that confidence, that self-love, that courage, that pride. You notice how much better that feels. Notice how much lighter you feel. Notice how much more energy you feel. As you feel that sense of, I've got this, going into every nerve, every muscle, every fiber in your body, all the way down to your DNA. And I want you to just continue to let go of any of those negative images, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and sensations. And just let that light, that white light, that white energy, just continue to fill with that courage, that confidence, that peace, that love, knowing that you've got this. And I'd like to ask your powerful, powerful subconscious mind to continue doing that over the next few weeks, next few days, next few hours, next few years, to just continue to peacefully and calmly let go of any of that shit that used to keep you procrastinating. You used to, that perfection paralysis. Just continue to let go of that over the next few days, next few weeks, next few months, next few years, next few hours. And replace it with that courage, that confidence, that energy, that desire, knowing that you've got this, knowing that you can do it, knowing that you will do it. And when you've done enough, and you know you've done enough for now, when you've done enough, I want you to just go ahead, open your eyes, and feel absolutely fantastic, energized, ready to go forward and let go of anything that you were procrastinating. And enjoy that feeling. Enjoy that newfound confidence, that newfound energy as you go forward, ready to face anything that you have to. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I hope that was helpful. And until next time, remember, there are no such thing as problems. There are only situations. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what